Yes, everyone, good morning. The 12th of August. How important is today going to be in Man United's transfer window this summer? Romano dropping bombs last night and this morning over deals for Carlos Baleba and Alejandro Garnacho. Also updates on Jadon Sancho and Rasmus Hojlund in the show this morning. It is all going on, everybody. Stay tuned here. Stay with us. Get your comments in the live section. This is Forever United TV. I'm Adam, and yes, it does seem to be hotting up. D-Day, Decision Day, Deal Day, whatever you want to call it. From what Romano has said about Baleba, which we're going to go into in a minute, we got a clip from what he said. This looks like the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, are going to be huge. By the way, another update on Donnarumma. Now, the plot is thickening on literally every single transfer that Manchester United are involved in. It's like bang, 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 bang. All of the news coming all at once. And it is a little bit too much to try and keep on top of all of it. So we're going to take it one by one. Each deal, each situation, where we're at with each one. Get through as much as we can in this morning show to get you fully updated on the start of your day. I know you've not got a school run because it's the summer holidays. So grab your coffee, chill out, relax, and get ready for an absolute transfer bonanza of a show here on Forever United TV this morning. Let's get going, and we can only start with one place, and that is the big one. Obviously, it's going to eclipse every other deal this transfer window. I'm sure of it. That is Carlos Baleba to Manchester United, where we're at with this situation. There was tons of reports yesterday as we went through on yesterday's shows, bringing you completely up to date from Rudy Galletti, from other sources, saying that the personal terms are agreed. Manchester United are preparing a bid. A lot of talk in and around the actual price of that bid being £100 million. Well, we just need to look at this and then wait, I feel, more than anything for one of the big guns to come out and actually give us a full-on update on what's actually going on with Carlos Baleba. We're waiting for it, and Romano's last night pretty much saying what we all kind of expected, but being a little bit more specific. This is what Romano said last night on Carlos Baleba, so you're completely up to date with all of the big journalists now. So here's Romano.
Carlos Baleba. Because for Carlos Baleba, I don't expect any development today, so the situation was quiet today. But over the weekend, Manchester United maintain contacts with the agents of the player. So Manchester United remain in direct contact. From tomorrow, so from Tuesday, I expect Tuesday, Wednesday, Manchester United to try understand how is the situation with Brighton. If they have a chance to negotiate, or if it's going to be really impossible to break that wall that Brighton always build around their top players when it's time to sell them. So let's see what's going to happen there, because let me repeat to you, Baleba is not closing doors to Man United. Personal terms will not be an issue. That's my understanding, and I maintain that. Then, on club side, work still needed, but these contacts for Baleba between Manchester United and Brighton are expected to continue. Not today, Monday, today is not the day, but from the next days, already this week, more contacts will take place to understand more on the Carlos Baleba story.
So it looks like today, tomorrow, from what Romano said, are important for Manchester United. They're going to go into talks with Brighton officially and get to the point of where they can know what they can afford. Are Brighton going to accept what they can afford, and we move forward with this deal? I think that's pretty much what Romano was saying there, and I think he made it quite clear that there is always been contact. We've said this all along between Baleba and the agent. Romano not going as far as to saying that the deal is done in terms of personal terms yet. I wouldn't expect him to. I would expect him to just lead this out a little bit longer, being 100% certain. Like we said last night, some bigger reporters and journalists cannot commit as much as saying certain things as other smaller ones can. Their reputation's obviously on the line. So Romano keeping cards close to his chest with Baleba on what's actually happening, but keeping it clear that obviously Manchester United are confident with Baleba on the personal terms. He wants to move to Manchester United. We know this now. I think that's quite clear. But he said, importantly as well, not yesterday, which was Monday when he was talking on this video, but today, Wednesday, so Tuesday, Wednesday, this middle of this week is going to be crucial to what happens next with Carlos Baleba in terms of Manchester United going to Brighton. The other journalists have said yesterday that the bid is going in. Romano's taken a stance on this as saying that talks are now going to intensify and move forward with Brighton to gauge whether or not Manchester United are going to be able to afford Carlos Baleba off the valuation of Brighton with Baleba. That brings up a few different things. you're looking at the possibility of United needing to pay 100 million, and maybe that's enough for Manchester United. That's okay. 90 million might be what we're going in with. The instalments of it, how much are we going to pay up front? How many years is this paid over? All of this now will be involved in this. So the general price of it, that's the one thing. That's the big one, obviously, how much United are going to pay for Carlos Baleba. That will be all of the headlines, the record bids and everything like that. But obviously then we'll know if Manchester United can structure this deal to suit them, no matter what the price is. So that will be the next stage on this as well. So this obviously is now today, tomorrow. We're expecting big updates on Carlos Baleba. We're expecting things to move forward rapidly, either one way or the other, because like we've said before, there isn't much time left in the window. Like we said, the 12th of August today. That is middle of the month, near enough, by the time this weekend comes. So United would need to know, just so they can negotiate the deal and get this over the line. It could take a week to negotiate, could take 2 weeks. That's taking us right to the end. So can we afford him is the big question for the next 2 days. That's where Manchester United are at. Nothing has been said. There's been rumours, there's been speculation on the price and what Brighton want, but nothing official. So this is what we're now waiting for. United's talks with Brighton are going to tell us everything over these next 2 days, whether or not this is going to be a can't afford him, moving on, other targets, or Man United are all in for Baleba. I think we're all in for Baleba. I think this is already common knowledge. I think Manchester United know what the price is. I think negotiations are already going on. I think Romano's holding off again. Look, it's his joy. He can do what he wants. He brings us all of the news, and he's usually bang on the money anyway, so he can put this out as easy or as thick as he wants to, really, and what he wants to do with this. But I do believe that there is something already going on behind the scenes, and there's a lot more that has happened that we don't know about yet. So I think we're going to find out over the next 2 days what's going on with this deal. But inside, I think there has already been talks, and there is already significant movement on Carlos Baleba. So this is going to be big. And is this because Manchester United have got some idea of what's going on in the outgoings? We're going to bring that up in a moment, because there is massive developments on that side of things as well from Romano, and what's happening with the likes of Garnacho and Sancho. So that coming up in a moment there. But interesting thing from Romano there was that Ruben Amorim also is very, very satisfied with the transfer window. It will be a fantastic transfer window if he can get his midfielder and his goalkeeper. He does want them players. He wants them in at Manchester United. He wants them in this season. He feels like this would be the complete transfer window for him. So internal talks, like Romano said there, with United and Ruben Amorim, the staff, everyone involved in the recruitment side of things, pushing hard on Carlos Baleba and how they make this deal happen. And like I said, internal talks going on means that I feel they already have an idea of what Brighton want. And like Romano says there, this next 2 days, I think we're just going to find out about what's already happened. I think this is where United are actually at with this right now. I fully believe that something is going on. Otherwise, why the hell are we still talking to Carlos Baleba? We're not going to wait it out until next summer. I don't think that's going to happen. United, like Laurie Whitwell said last night, feel like they can steal a march on the other Premier League clubs that might be interested in Baleba by buying him this summer with that new revolving credit facility that's been expanded now with more money available to Manchester United. They feel like this is a risk worth taking this summer, and this is why I think the move is going to happen. And this week we will find out that United are all in. Now, Plettenberg came out last night and said that Brighton are aware of Manchester United's interest. That again tells you what I've just said pretty much is happening right now, that both clubs have already spoken. I feel like there is communication going on. Brighton are comfortable. They still stand by their look on this whole situation. They want Carlos Baleba to stay at Brighton. Of course they do. And their stance is comfortable on this. But there is talk, like we said yesterday also, about a cautious look from Brighton for a replacement already for Carlos Baleba. I think they are preparing themselves for Manchester United to come in with a massive bid that they didn't expect would happen this summer. I don't think they would have thought Manchester United would have come in. I think they've made it clear to everyone that Baleba is for sale next season, and United have tried to steal a march on this here and give Brighton what they want. They expect him to be the same valuation in and around what Caicedo was, which is 100 million plus. I don't think he's there yet on Caicedo's level of where he was at Brighton, personally. And Caicedo is a pivotal part to Chelsea now, as you can see. So the value for money is definitely there. And the Brighton model is worth investing into. I think I said that last night. That's what United's data analysis is looking into. They know that this player is the future. And to bring him in this season ahead of everybody else would be a coup for Manchester United. It really would. And I think one of the biggest statements, again, but finalising this mega summer for Manchester United, which it has been, I think this is putting a lot of pieces in place for United to really mount a serious attack on the Premier League this season. So I think this is what they're looking at. This is like, we've not got European football and we can get Carlos Baleba this summer. This gives us a huge advantage over everybody else who's competing up there. It's absolutely a must now for Manchester United to try and at least go for Carlos Baleba. There is so much going on with this right now. I'm just going to bring you some up-to-date news from Carlos Baleba, a few headlines. This one's come from Christopher Michael, says, Carlos Baleba is one of the lowest earners in the Premier League. Brighton would have to offer him a significant pay rise to convince him to stay. Either way, it's possible that there will be some real movements in the coming weeks. That was from Christopher Michael. Another one in here on Carlos Baleba and the story as well, saying from David Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell, Carlos Baleba is keen on a possible Manchester United move and personal terms would not be a problem. A number of United players have been in contact with Baleba about a transfer, explaining the current landscape and ambitions. A picture on that tweet is of course, Mr. Andre Onana himself, Mr. Super Agent Andre Onana doing his bits. So interesting again, this happened with Sesko, and Sesko talking to a lot of Manchester United players. There seems to be a real togetherness around Manchester United right now, which is interesting. And if they are talking to to Carlos Baleba, like they did do, as we were told, with Benjamin Sesko, there does seem to be a real togetherness and one vision for Manchester United at the moment. And everybody being on board with it, I just feel like this is a real positive for Manchester United moving forward. The Athletic have also said this morning, Manchester United are not expected to submit a bid for Baleba unless they believe there is a chance of success with indirect conversations ongoing. So Romano saying that conversations with Brighton are going to come forward in the next 2 days. The Athletic are saying that conversations are going to start happening now as well, and United won't make that bid unless they know they can afford him. This is big. This is now, the next couple of days, massive for the Carlos Baleba situation and this transfer and the potential of it happening in this transfer window. So yeah, that I think is massive. Like, the players talking to him, convincing the player, United asking him to put in a transfer request, personal terms already agreed, all of these reports in place. Something has to be happening. I think we're a little bit behind on what's really happened, and we're about to find out that Manchester United have contacted Brighton, and we do know now that there is a potential for this signing to happen this transfer window. That's what I read from all of this anyway. You could probably look at this another way and be a bit more cautious, of course. You could say, well, we're just finding out now that Manchester United are contacting Brighton and we might just walk away because they want an obscene amount of money. You could go off what Plettenberg has said from Sky Germany, in that Brighton are very comfortable in the situation. They don't want to sell him. And if someone wants to bid for him, they're going to have to come in with a substantial amount, a serious substantial amount of money. And that is going to be 100 million. If United actually go in and say, look, there's 100 million, I think we're on. I do believe that we're on. That there cannot be ignored. It's 100 million quid. I think get in there and make it clear to Brighton you're not messing around. Shock them. Surprise them. Do what you've got to do to trigger these talks on further, because there's nothing under 100 million, I don't think, now going off what's been said, that's going to get Brighton even interested in making this. I mean, I'm all for ballsy attempts to get the deal cheaper, but Brighton and Carlos Baleba, out of all the transfers that we've spoken about this summer, is the only one that isn't really available. We knew Cunha had a sell-on. We knew he had a buyout, and that deal was going to happen. And Mbeumo, 1 year left, he was always going to move. That was clear from January. Benjamin Sesko was always going to move. That was clear for everybody at Leipzig and around European football. They knew that he was moving this summer. Carlos Baleba is not moving. he doesn't, well, the club don't want to sell him, and this is a different transfer for Manchester United now. It's not like you've got an advantage point of going in and saying, look, the player wants to leave, he's got 1 year left in his contract, you knew he was going to leave this summer, there is a buyout clause there you can go right in for. There's nothing for Carlos Baleba, and Brighton don't want to sell him. So United cannot mess around with this bid this time. It's not going to be like the others. They want to make sure the player wants to come, of course, and that structure of a transfer is there. But when it comes to the negotiation part of this deal, they have to go big or go home. That's all that's there for me, as I see it anyway. I just don't think Brighton are going to entertain. Apparently it was Brian Mbeumo who also spoke to Carlos Baleba. So we're getting pictures of Andre Onana, who is also of same international, Brian Mbeumo. Obviously all three of them players play for Cameroon. I don't know if they speak to each other daily or through the weeks throughout seasons or whatnot. I don't know what the relationships are like, but they're international teammates, so you'd expect them to have some kind of rapport, wouldn't you, and a relationship between each other. But still, I feel like Manchester United going all out for Carlos Baleba here, 100%, is quite clear now. I think this is at a point now where it is going to be a simple yes or no, and United move on for reasons like I just explained. This deal is not one that is in the offing. This is not one where a player was clearly going to move. It wasn't going to be a straightforward transfer. It was always going to be a difficult one to negotiate if United wanted it, because the player is not for sale. And that, I think, is 100 million. Whoa. Okay, we didn't expect that. He's been at the club 2 years, only just really coming through, and we've got 100 million bid on the table. That could work against Man United. That could make the price seem like it's too much, and they could get more out of it. If United are going right in with 100 million, it could work against them. Look, this is for United's negotiators to decide. I feel like they know that he's going to be worth about 115 to 120 million next season. United have to get in somewhere reasonable to make this happen. So would you go in at 90 and test the water, and then Brighton say no, and then you go in with another 10 million later and go to 100? This is what I think being discussed internally at United. Like, how do we make this clear to Brighton that we are serious, but we don't want to pay too much, that we are in the realms of what you want ideally for this player? That, I think, is what's being discussed right now. Complicated? Yes. Like Romano said, it's not going to be easy, this one. And Brighton do need time to find a replacement. Whew. Yes, a lot, isn't it? It is a lot. So let's just check on the chat, see how everyone is with this. A lot of people talking about the price. A lot of people talking about what United's approach should be on this one. Cryptic with the super chat says, Romano reporting sat on Weatherspoon's bog in that video. Yeah, he does find some weird sort of backdrops, doesn't he, Romano? Cheers for the super chat, mate. Let's see. Chris says 100 million is not mad for a talent like that who's 21 and shines and has a long contract. No, it's a going rate. 100 million for 10 years is a good deal. It is. Just look at Baleba as a 20 million investment each year over the next 5 years. That's what you could say, and how you would look at it. I think United, in the instalment factor on this, are going to go hard negotiating on it. They would obviously like to drag this out over as many years as possible to make it even more affordable. But are United willing to go that next step and go, right, this is going to cost us 30 million a year if Brighton want these instalments done in a shorter space of time? Are we willing to invest that much? That's the big one. Because let's be honest, I said yesterday, his wages are not going to be that high at United. So again, I feel like we're in a position here where United should feel comfortable with the wages of the player and not overpaying, and the value of him, I think, is warranted. It is. You're about to buy one of the most sought after talents in the Premier League right now at the ripe old age of 21. That's the difference. I think United are all too willing to spend this amount of money on a player if they know that he has got potential and has got a future with, of course, the value and the sell-on value with that. That, I think, is big for United as well. So on this deal, like Sesko, I think they're willing to push the boat out and go a little bit more. Let's see how this goes now the next couple of days. But this is massive for Manchester United now. Gricka says, never Never been so down as after the Europa League final, following this team for decades. Now cannot wait to be at Old Trafford on Sunday. Let the positivity return, says Gricker. I'm with that one, buddy. Let's hope that it does return and we do get a win. Ormstein update off says with a super chat. Our Brits abroad, has Ormstein actually come in with another update? I'm just double checking and making sure. I can't see anything just as yet from what I've not already said anyway. But yes. Right, in terms of we have got a Donnarumma update coming on. Oh God, there's so much news falling out this morning. It is crazy. So Jim Ratcliffe wants Manchester United to be capable of making a major impression this campaign. And signing a player like Balaba's quality would be expected to significantly aid those aims. That's from David Ornstein, Larry Whitwell, and The Athletic there all together. Yeah, The Athletic are really pushing on the Carlos Baleba story this morning, alongside what Romano said late last night. You can definitely put this down as something is going to happen. These next couple of days are going to be crucial here. There's too many stories here. When David Ornstein is bringing up Sir Jim Ratcliffe about what he wants and the impression he wants to make on this transfer window, and looking at a player like Carlos Baleba, this, I think, now is at that stage, like I said, where I think something has happened and we're about to find out about it. That's what I think anyway. But get your comments in and keep talking, everybody. Don't forget everything that's in the description as well. The links for OK jerseys and the retro kits. Obviously, all of the up-to-date kits are out there. Replica kits there that I'm wearing right now. Everything is on the website. Check it out. The QR code is flashing in between that and Match Bingo on your screen. But the links are in the description as well for you to catch up on. And some of the mods will drop them in there as well. I know the black shirt drops today. Go and have a look. Right, let's see. Please, already 500 likes on the video. Absolutely massive, 20 minutes in. Keep liking the video if you're loving the updates, everybody. And of course, make sure you hit that subscribe button. By the way, we passed over 96k last night as well. So we are now less than 4,000 away from the 100k mark. Mega. Wow. It keeps on moving on. It's a steam train right now. Thank you, everybody, again for your support on the channel. Moving on to Fabrizio Romano and what was said regarding Alejandro Garnacho. Now, this happened and a lot of people jumped onto this morning. This was again last night from Romano talking about Garnacho. This is important because this obviously could aid Manchester United's pursuit of Carlos Baleba. As we know, trying to bring money back in to balance the books for PSR is going to be massive for United. They're not afraid to spend on players, but they do need to balance the books. And Garnacho, obviously, we spoke last night about him and what was said. He is willing to sit out the whole season if he doesn't get his move to Chelsea. I'm sorry, Garnacho, that's not going to work for you. In fact, someone put a great tweet out last night on the back of this. I said myself, I couldn't believe it, how a player 21 years old, with everything in front of him in his career, would want to sit out a full season. Absolutely ridiculous. But listen to this. This was bang on the money. Garnacho threatening Manchester United, basically, by saying he'll sit a season out and not play football for a year. With World Cups coming up, I don't think so. I really don't think so. If you've got any aspirations to make a World Cup squad, you're not going to set out a full season. But like this comment said, we've seen out Marcus Rashford on 300 plus grand a week wages. We've seen out Jadon Sancho on 200 plus a week wages. Sat them out and not involved them at all in a season. You think 50 grand on a petulant academy player coming through is going to stop Manchester United from getting on with their business and sticking to their plan of getting the value they want for you? I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. I think Manchester United are prepared for this backlash. But interesting one, and what's been said as well, there are reports going around that Manchester United are very unhappy with a relationship between a certain journalist and Garnacho, and it weakening their stance with Garnacho in the transfer market this summer. Who that journalist is, we don't know. Obviously, there's one journalist that does speak a lot about Garnacho, which is Romano. I can't see United having a problem with Romano. I think it will be one of the more local journalists. No names have been mentioned, but obviously speculation is going to be about now, because it is Romano that is talking about Garnacho. Now, his latest tweet on Garnacho was that Garnacho is moving closer and closer to Chelsea. Club-to-club talks are now taking place, and it is in advanced stages. So, again, when they start saying advanced stages, this being Romano, this being Ornstein, or any of the Tier 1 journalists out there, when it gets to advanced, particularly with Romano and Ornstein, there's something happening, and it is very close to a move. You add to that the cryptic social media clues and pictures that Garnacho is putting out online at the moment, with him in his own personal gym, with Lionel Messi and Ronaldo in the background, the mosaics ones. That's his home gym. Obviously, he isn't able to play for anybody right now because he's not willing to play for Manchester United. United don't want him, and no one's made a bid for him yet. Well, that could be about to change, apparently. Romano going in on this and saying what he has, and the clues that Garnacho is dropping. Chelsea now, apparently, according to Romano, want to accelerate this deal and get this deal done. So it doesn't look like the reports that were coming out about Chelsea taking this right to deadline day and trying to force a move out of Manchester United are real. And maybe there has been more communication over the last 2 days that we don't know about, in that Garnacho, Chelsea, Manchester United are in conversation right now to move this deal forward as quickly as possible now. Maybe Chelsea want to get things moving along, because we heard that Chelsea would like to move players on to get Garnacho in. Now, we do know that there is movement in the Nkunku and Nicholas Jackson situation right now, because it's thought that Nicholas Jackson would prefer a move to Newcastle. Obviously, Newcastle are going to need a striker because of the absolute bomb that David Ornstein dropped this morning as well on Alexander Isak and the situation there. Even if Newcastle don't sell Alexander Isak, he will never play for the football club again. Ornstein. So Chelsea, Jackson, Newcastle needing a striker. I think they're going to buy one anyway. So I think Nicholas Jackson favourite. And Nkunku to Leipzig, again, that talk was there. I think Chelsea know that movement is coming from their side, so they want to accelerate the deal for Garnacho to go to Chelsea from Manchester United. So I think there's a lot of things moving into place for United right now, and things really do seem to be moving along very, very fast on the incomings and the outgoings right now at United. It is full on crazy mode. The handbrake has been let off and everything is moving forward very, very quickly. I am going to get into the comment section now, so get your thoughts in, please, everybody. Absolutely mega numbers in here, so bear with me. I'll try and get through as many comments as I possibly can. David says Garnacho needs to have a word with his agents as he's being advised terribly. He's a father, for God's sake, and is acting like a child himself. Get rid ASAP. Jonathan says, I hope someone close to Garnacho can have a positive impact on him and help him get his football career back on track. Lots of people going down this road. Nobody wants to see a career wasted. And I'm fully on that. And I've always had a big issue with people around players, particularly when they've got family members representing them. Rashford, Garnacho. It's clear it causes a problem because they see it from one side. I don't think they're open enough to what is actually going on in these situations and the way that things develop. I think Chelsea have taken advantage of Garnacho. I think Chelsea have gone into his agent, his brother, and just blown smoke up their arse again into trying to make this deal happen and make it happen cheaper for Chelsea. I think they're feeding him a load of crap, to be honest, because I personally look at the Chelsea side as it is now, and I'm thinking, where does Garnacho actually fit into this side? That may change, and Maresca may have a different view on this, but I'm looking at the players there and I'm going, they're probably actually better than what Garnacho is, and he's going to struggle to get in. If they sign Xavi Simons as well, they've got Gittins. I mean, the forward line has got no chance of getting into that with, obviously, the likes of Delap and João Pedro in there as well. Cole Palmer, Enzo's been playing further forward for Chelsea as well. Honestly, look, someone needs to help him. Like Jonathan said there, like David said there as well in the chat, I think the lad needs help. I think someone needs to come in. Intermediaries, thankfully, are actually in play in this Garnacho situation now. So this has moved to a point where his agent, his brother, is useless. and somebody else has had to come in and try and facilitate and get this deal moving. And that to me proves that he has obviously been really, really badly advised. Maybe these intermediaries coming in now have looked on it a little bit more sensibly and got this moving along, because everything that we're hearing from Garnacho's side is just absolutely ludicrous. It's ridiculous. How can a player at 21 not want to play football for a year? That comment, if genuine, and that came from Romano, and maybe this is where United have got a problem. I don't know. I'm just putting pieces together myself here like everybody else would be, and guessing who this journalist is that United have got a problem with. The mind baffles, obviously, doesn't it? The mind boggles. It's ridiculous how we've got this situation developing now. Brits Abroad with the mega super chat. Thank you, my man. Love that. Really appreciate that, mate. Baleba keen on possible move to Old Trafford. Multiple Manchester United players have been in touch to explain the setup. Skepticism remains given potential transfer fee. Brighton do not intend to sell. That talks via intermediaries continue. Yeah, that's pretty much the update there. Thanks for that, buddy. You didn't need to put it on a super chat though, mate. I really appreciate that, mate. But pretty much like we was reading out there regarding the Athletic, there is significant movement coming regarding Alejandro Garnacho. Big movement coming. And big movement coming on Baleba as well, as put there by Brits Abroad. It is going to be an exciting next couple of days. And we're looking at a lot of different situations right now with Manchester United players moving elsewhere. Like we've just said there about Garnacho. And what's happening there, accelerated talks, and now moving forward with them talks and are at advanced stage, says Romano, and hopefully this does get itself sorted out pretty soon. I need to get back into everything else that's going on, because there is a shed ton of information floating around at the moment. It's like this morning's floodgates have opened up on everything happening transfer wise for Manchester United. Newcastle are among clubs looking at Rasmus Hojlund, including Milan, Borussia Dortmund and RB Leipzig as well. Again, there are lots of discussions going on with Rasmus Hojlund right now. Apparently there is a meeting today with United and Rasmus, which is going to sort of outline his future at the football club. United are opening this up for everybody because they want to sell Rasmus Hojlund. They don't want him at the football club, it's quite clear. How politely they have put that to him, I don't know. It's never an easy conversation when you've got to tell a player that he's out. But I think they're just holding out here for clubs to come in and potentially come in and outbid the next club. I think the loan for AC Milan is close. I think there is advanced talks there from what's been said with Romano and several other sources. But United still haven't agreed anything yet. I just look at this now and I feel like we are in a position here where I think United feel they can get a fee for Rasmus Hojlund and potentially have a sell-on top of that to cover what they've lost with PSR. I think that's how United are looking at it. I think if someone comes in with 30 million quid, I think United sell Rasmus Hojlund and sell him now. I do. I think that's what they're offering to other clubs. Of course, there is a loan option with a loan fee and then take more money next summer. Obviously, United are in a better position next summer as well because it's another year paid off of the instalments on Rasmus Hojlund and what we're paying for him now. So that might benefit United. But I think United are literally trying to fund a Carlos Baleba deal here. And they don't want to spend too much of their own money. If they can bring more money back in and to make this happen, then I do believe that this is United's approach. They're opening this up for everybody to come in and take Rasmus Hojlund on a permanent deal. It would suit United better and obviously give them a lot more money to play with when it comes to going for Carlos Baleba. They could look at this and say, look, right, if we sell Garnacho, if we sell Rasmus Hojlund, we can afford Carlos Baleba at 100 million. We could even bring the instalments in and make it 30 million a season for 3 years, maybe for just over 30 million, and make it a 3-year package if we sold Garnacho and Rasmus Hojlund, because the money's right there for United to use then, particularly with the Garnacho situation as well. But Garnacho and Rasmus are going to play massive parts in what happens now with Carlos Baleba. It's quite clear on that. The money available to Manchester United is always going to be the situation where we look at where we can't get Carlos Baleba. I think that's what everyone is cautiously looking at here. And I'm just reading into what's been said about Rasmus, Garnacho and Carlos Baleba this morning alone from Romano and The Athletic, looking at this, it is everyone cautiously looking at Manchester United right now and trying to figure out how they are doing this. It's definitely turned a few heads how United have conducted business this summer. And just looking at what Ornstein and Laurie Whitwell said, and then Romano and what he's saying, and nobody thought that this was going to happen. And you can tell in the reporting that there is a surprise in the writing with what's actually being said here from all of the journalists for United right now. And that nobody thought that United would go this far. We're about to go over, if we sign Carlos Baleba, £300 million spent this summer without Champions League football. That's the reality of the situation. And maybe a little bit more spent on top of that. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But look, we're all happy that we're actually investing into the squad. If United needed to spend money anywhere in this football club, forget your training grounds, forget Old Trafford stadiums or anything like that. The most important thing for Manchester United is to put money into this squad to be competitive, and that is it. You have to spend if you want to compete. Otherwise, you will just fester and stick around in the safe zone, which is mid-table, like a lot of the clubs that we're buying players off are. And that's no disrespect for them, to them. That is how their clubs are run. I'm talking Brentford's, I'm talking Brighton's. We're talking Bournemouths and Fulhams and teams like this that are happy to sell their best players because they're happy to just sustain in the league. They know they're not going to challenge against the spending power of the big guns in the Premier League. And you could say that that's got no ambition at all, but come on. Look how much Manchester City had to spend and invest and, let's just say, bend rules to get to where they are now. It's literally an absolute fortune that nobody is going to afford or be able to afford unless you have the wealth of the City owners or the Newcastle owners. It's staggering. It really is. But United right now are in a position where they know with the size of the club, where they're at, the stature of the club, what's in their advantage, which is the heritage side of things. Players still want to come to the club. The revenues the club is generating, the plans for the future. United are fine. They can sustain and run on their own, but they need to be successful to do so. And I think this summer they're buying players for the next 5 years. There's a plan here that these players are only going to get better as years go forward. I don't think United are going to spend anywhere near as much money next summer as what they are this summer. I think this is 2 windows in one, and United are going for it. That's how I see it now, and that's how I see it developing. And PSG have done this before. PSG have spent 2 transfer windows in one in changing their club around. They got rid of the crap. They invested a load of money. And the crap is like the big superstar players that never work for Chelsea, like the Neymars, the Mbappes and the Messis. Players like this that just didn't cut it. They wanted to change a whole system around Enrique, and they went in and they spent and they trusted him. So maybe there's an element of United looking at this here and going off these other club models and saying, look, we're going to bring in the best players that we possibly can to give the manager the best opportunity to get back up there. But we are trying to play catch up, and we're going to have to go above and beyond to get back in there. If we're going to challenge for the top 4, you need to sign players like Baleba. You need to sign players like Donnarumma. On Donnarumma, by the way, the Athletic are reporting this morning that it is unrealistic that United go for Donnarumma. That's because of Andre Onana. And again, that's what's holding this deal up. There's no sign that United will sell Andre Onana, and they need to move him on really to bring Donnarumma in. But United are talking about Donnarumma. Also, interestingly, Romano, what he said last night, that his situation at PSG is dead. It's over. He's got 1 year left to run his contract. He's not going to play this season, it looks like, because they bought Chevalier in from Lille. So that situation, what Romano described last night, it looks like his destination is the Premier League. But then Romano this morning has said the reports on Donnarumma and talks with Chelsea are false. They are not. They have been misled. He is not talking to Chelsea. So then I'm like, City have bought Trafford. They've got Ortega. Alisson at Liverpool. They've just bought another goalkeeper as well. Arsenal have got Raya and Arrizabalaga. Can't be going Newcastle, can they? They're not going to go. They're not going to get him. I'm looking at him going, where's he going? where is he going? And I can't help but think that Manchester United might actually be in for him still. But let's just look at it this way. Let's just concentrate on Baleba. Let's not be too greedy, shall we? But I think Manchester United, from what the Athletic have said, it's midfielder and then opportunities for a goalkeeper. I think Romano is in the same boat. And like I said, this is taking everyone by surprise that United are actually this far in for Carlos Baleba now. It's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy and where we're at. But look, it's genuine, it's real, and we're going to find out over the next couple of days. On the Jadon Sancho situation as well, Romano updating us on him in saying that if Jadon Sancho does not find a suitable club in Europe, he will move to Turkey. That option is still there for him. So he said no to all the Turkey clubs. So we know that Fenerbahce and Besiktas have made approaches through via intermediaries to talk to Jadon Sancho about a potential move to Turkey. He said no because his priority is Juventus. Nicola Scherer this morning, Italian journalist, going as far as to say he's agreed terms with Juventus, but unless Nico Gonzalez is sold, Juventus will not go for Jadon Sancho. So Sancho, forget about it for now. It's not going to happen until the end of the window. Unless Juventus sell Nico Gonzalez, then they're not going to sign him. Sancho does look like he is going to move though, which is great. I feel like this now has got to a point where we can almost guarantee there is a move for Jadon Sancho. And I think the Turkish club can afford him as well. They apparently, according to the sources, have been the ones that have offered the most money to Jadon Sancho, personal terms wise. And he has always said, or the report has come out that he has always wanted more money to move to Turkey rather than a top European team. Look, he's going to play European football in Turkey anyway. He's going to be in a place where I think he's going to suit him. But for us and our stance and our worry about Jadon Sancho and what we can get for him, I think that news from Romano is quite key there, because that tells us as a fan base that United have got options open for Sancho. He's at the bottom of the important list at the moment because Juventus want him, have to move a player on. Inter might go for him if they don't get Lookman. Obviously, we've got the interest from Germany and Borussia Dortmund. They're still thinking about it. And then we've got the option of Turkey after all of that. So we've got about 5 clubs lined up for Jadon Sancho right now, all in order of where they're at with their transfer windows and business that they have still got to conduct. So let's not even talk about Jadon Sancho right now. It's an important update, but nothing's going to materialise until the end of the window for Sancho. But that, again, is something that United now know is on the cards. And there's a certain amount of money they know they're going to save through wages. And, obviously, they're going to get a fee on top. So if you can sell Rasmus, if you can sell Garnacho, and then you know Sancho is going, and all these wages are coming off the books with this. And let's not forget, that will be, if Sancho, Rasmus and Garnacho, which looks like it's going to happen now, are all off the books in wages, you're talking there. You're talking, as I make it out, around about 400 grand a week in wages for them 3 players. Now you calculate that over a year, that's, I think, is around about 25 million or something like that. Permanently gone off the books. United can afford to bring in 2 more players because you've got the transfer fees on top of all of them wages as well. And you see where I'm going with this? How United calculate PSR? If you're taking that amount of wages off the books as well and bringing in transfer fees, it's no wonder they've actually gone into this credit facility and gone overdrawn a little bit, because they know they're going to be able to pay it back. This, with all of the new players coming in on considerably less wages as well, don't forget, is massive, I feel. And that's how United are calculating this. So knowing that Sancho is going to go, we just have to wait. Not long to go. Like I said, we've only got, 3 weeks left of this transfer window. So we know that that's coming. I think United feel comfortable in going for Baleba at this point, knowing that there is plenty of money still to come into the club as well. And that's how I think United are looking at it. My own personal opinion on that as well. But let me know. Get into the comment section as well. We do have a poll running right now. Do you think 100 million is enough to get Baleba? 85% of you, of nearly 1,700 votes, have said yes on this poll. Get involved in that, please, everybody, as well. in the poll there and get voting. Like I said, the new Manchester United black shirt is out today as well. Check it out. Grab your cheap replica kits online now. Retros as well. All there on that QR code on your screen right now. Links in the description and live chats as well on that. Currently sat in hospital waiting for my girlfriend to go down for a C-section. Going to be a long day. Thanks for giving us the news and keeping updated, mate. NJT93, thank you for that super chat, buddy. Hopefully everything goes well today. Good luck to you both. It was going to be, knowing myself, want to be an absolutely amazing day for you both. So hopefully it all goes as well as it can do for you. But thanks for the super chat, mate. We will try and keep you updated as you're sat there patiently waiting. Oh, it could be a long wait. It could. You never know. You might get lucky though. You might. But thanks for that, buddy. I really appreciate that, mate. And good luck today. Why aren't we selling Casemiro? He had passed his peak. He doesn't have the legs in the Premier League. Look, Casemiro will do a job for us, Robbie, this season. In terms of United selling him, I just don't think we can at the moment. I don't think anybody is realistically in for Casemiro right now. And again, like, his contract ends this season. We need a midfielder. It'd be interesting to see if there is any movement in Manchester United's midfielders that we've got at the club at the moment, if we do sign Baleba. Because obviously we're hearing about the news on Toby Collier potentially going out loan. By the way, it does look like Harry and Mass is going to end up going to Sheffield Wednesday. That's a carnage club at the moment, that. They are all over the place, so I don't know if that's the right move for him. It's again, like, what is the club thinking? Yeah, he might play a lot of games at a decent level, but is it going to help his development going to a club that's literally on its ass like Sheffield Wednesday are? I'm not sure about that one. I'm really not. A lot of people talking in the chat about Casemiro's wages. Yeah, there you go. Like, that's added to what I've just said there in Garnacho, Rasmus and Jadon Sancho leaving. I've not even mentioned Anthony and Malacia yet today. And you've got them to go yet as well. Rashford, Garnacho and Jadon Sancho's wages off the books, 400 grand. Casemiro and his wages off the books, 300. 700 grand a week in wages is a considerable amount of money. And if you put a package together for Baleba, you would be able to afford him with the money you've saved on wages for them 4 players alone going into next season. United can afford Carlos Baleba. One way or another, you've got guarantees right now. There's guarantees. Sancho and his wages are gone. Worst case scenario after this season, Rasmus is going. Garnacho is going. Casemiro is going. These are all things that are going to happen one way or the other. And over the next season. So if you're looking to buy Baleba and spread this cost out and meet PSR terms, United are completely comfortable with what they're doing right now. Yes, we have bought other players in. And at the moment, we haven't moved many on. But if you say, for instance, Marcus Rashford pretty much covers the wages of Benjamin Sesko and Matthias Cunha, which he pretty much does, then you're looking, okay, there's them wages covered. Yeah, you've got the instalments. But this, I think, is where the transfer fees then start to kick into gear from Rasmus, from Garnacho, from Sancho, from Anthony eventually as well. And then, like we said, afterwards, the wages will obviously add on to that in what United can save. United's outgoings, really, it was never really a transfer fee problem for United. Yes, we do owe a lot of money still in outstanding transfers, but every club does. That's just how football clubs run. That's part and parcel, and that's one of the outgoings of a football business. It's the wages that you can control that United haven't, that has spiralled out of control for this football club. And so that's what we need to concentrate on, and that's what I think Manchester United are hitting. We're almost at 1,000 likes, everybody. Literally 83 away. So if you haven't given the video a like already and are loving the updates and content, please do give the video a like. Make sure you also hit that subscribe button. Like we said, last night we passed over 96,000. Another 1,000 closer to the 100k mark. And celebrations on that will definitely be big. So thank you again. But Please like the video, everybody, as well. Get your thoughts in when the video finishes also, please, everyone. Don't forget, this weekend, everybody, is the big opening to the season, and our match day sponsors, Match Bingo, are back in action, everyone. So make sure that you, first of all, please do click on the link in the description. The QR code will be flashing up on your screen in between that and OK Jerseys. So click on the link in the description. Some of the mods will drop it into the live chat as well. Match Bingo, dead easy to play. You'll go straight to the download page. Download the app. That's the first job. Then, obviously, we just need you to deposit £5 into your account so you can play the game. If you do that, you'll get another £10 on top of that, doubled up by Match Bingo as a new customer. If you hit the promo code FUTV in that section, all capitals, you will be boosted by 200% and boosting your chances of winning by that amount as well. The game is really easy to play. All you got to do is pay £2 for a game that you want to play. It's like playing bingo with match events. That's it. So throw-ins, corners in certain minutes, goals, substitutions in certain minutes, 15 on a card. If you get 5 in a row, you win 25 quid. As easy as that. Another 25 for the next line, and then upwards of 300 quid if you get all 15 match events in one game. I'm playing this weekend for the Arsenal game. Get involved, everybody. You are missing out. It is a load of fun to play, and just adds that little bit of something different to the game itself. So please do get involved in it. The QR code is up there on your screen right now. As you can see, it's just changed over. Link in the description and the live chat as well if you are live or playing catch up later on. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the show this morning. A gifted membership right in there at the end from London. Again, thank you very much, mates. 1,000 likes in the bag. Mega numbers on the show again, everybody. Get involved. Grab your retro shirts. Grab your replica kits now online at OK Jerseys. That is the other QR code that pops up on your screen and in the links. Play Match Bingo with us this weekend. Grab yourself a chance of winning 300 quid. Cannot wait for that one. I'm winning it this weekend. And of course, make sure you give the video a like, subscribe, and get your comments in. More importantly, that is the main thing. The FUTV community is growing, everyone. Thank you for being part of the show this morning. I will be back with all the updates later on. I'm expecting it to be busy, so make sure you hit that notification button as well, guys, to make sure that you are fully up to date with everything as it drops. I'll have you covered. But for now, this morning, that's it. Cheers, everyone. Speak to you all later on.